Today I want to show you how I created this scene in Blender, and what you can see is 3D volumetric data, which is simulated with the material point method. So let's dive right in. What we have here is a cell, this is like a scan of a cell which was imported using the add-on Microscopy Nodes. And let me hide this one here. And the first thing that we want to do is to make this look a bit nicer. What we have is a slice cube. I can select it like this, and now I move it with GZ, and then you can see how I can move through the object. But I want to explicitly remove these parts, and there I can use another object, for example, this sphere. And when I now go into the geometry nodes tree of the volume, then I can define another mask grid node that's also part of the Microscopy Nodes add-on. And now you can see that all these outside spots of the cell are gone. I can even go into edit mode, into the sphere edit mode, and press G and have a look inside of my cell like this. That's quite cool, but for now we will leave it like this. Okay, now we want to have a simulation on how this thing moves. And the first thing that we want to do is to create points from this volume. And this can be done by this node tree, points from volume. Oh, I'm still in edit mode. Let's go to object mode. And this works the following way. I take the volume, then I sample the grid from it, and I say grid to points, and everywhere where the grid points are higher than this threshold, they should be deleted. And then I set the point radius, and this is what I get from this. So this is quite nice. And you might wonder why do we have such high radii for the points? And this is because Microscopy Nodes imports these with a very, very small scale. So this is all about 0.0001. And here in the volume, where was it? Here in the points, you can see that the points are having quite big values. So this is, just how the add-on works. But nevertheless, we can work with this. And next we start the simulation. We go to squishy volumes. This is also a free Blender extension. And we can define all our input parameters, which is like these volumes, these points that are generated. So I take these points from the cell that I had before. Then I say points to volume, volume to mesh. So now I have a mesh object. Let's take a look at this mesh object that looks like this. And for the final simulation input, we do some other operations. This node tree here is actually generated by squishy volumes. And this, for example, says, okay, how many points do I want to have? Should they be less? Should they be more? How randomly should they be offset? How much offset do we want? What's the grid size? And this will all have an impact on how this final simulation will look like. Okay, then we have some other objects. For example, this plane. Then we have slicer objects, which will slide through this one. So they are also keyframed. When I play this one, then you can see that they slide like this and like this. And finally, I have the output object. And this is generated by the material point method simulation. So when I defined all these parameters and press on simulate, and then here record import and bake, then I actually get a simulation like this one. I can also play this one, and you can see this is our cell, how it falls, and then it's being cut apart. Now we come to the last part. Let me first hide all these input things that we don't need anymore. Perfect. So now we have this. And now we want to map the cell data into this thing. And that only works with Blender 5.3 because previous Blender versions don't yet have the node trees that we need for this. And what I do now is I change from points to skin. And this this is all the generated point data which changes over time from squishy volumes. And now we take an input objects, which is in this case these points that we used before as the input for our simulation. And now we also want to have a skin, which in this case is the volume from Microscopy Nodes. And now Blender, or like the squishy volumes geometry nodes tree, is saying, okay, this is like the map these volume points to these input points, and then as the simulation moves on, always take care of where did this point come from, where is it going now, and how should it look in the end. Yeah, and with this we can now hide these elements, and we have a pretty nice animation of a cell which is divided by these two slicing parameters. I hope you find this useful, and you will find the blend file with also the possibility to exchange about this in the Blender Science Discord, and I'm linking the files and like the link to this in the description. See you for the next tutorial, and have a good day.